Yes, beta. The part that I'm discussing now as such, guys, has been introduced under the new syllabus. So yeah, old batch students as such, guys, whatever part that you're getting now is in relation to derivatives, the new thing that was covered under the new syllabus. Materials also will be given to you, beta, along with the link of this class. So they've introduced something. All of you, beta, please turn to page number 5.15. Old batch students, page number match नहीं हो रहा तो बेटा तुम लोग डरो मत, बस you just check for the heading. Page number 5.15, guys. Exotic options. They give weird names as such, guys, to everything. I do not know why. Maybe, you know, they want students to have way too much interest in this. But then there's something called as exotic options as such, guys. Again, important as a theory question as such, guys. They can give this in the examination as a theory part. When you say plain vanilla as such, guys, throughout finance, I used this word earlier also, guys. It means that the instrument is in its normal form. If I say a plain vanilla call option as such, guys, it's a call option. There'll be a strike price, there'll be a maturity period. You're supposed to exercise the option with that strike price, with no terms and conditions attached. Plain vanilla bond means a bond that will pay normal coupon is redeemable in a fixed maturity period. A convertible bond is not a plain vanilla bond. Are you getting it, guys? Wherever an instrument, financial instrument is such, guys, in its simplest form, we use the word vanilla. Why vanilla, sir? Plain hai bolke. Are we clear about this? That's the only logic as such, beta, that will be there. So unlike American options and European options, unlike call option and put option, guys, they've given us certain categories of options as such, beta, here. Most of these options are not exchange traded. They are over the counter options. Matlab they are contracts directly between two parties. The very first option as such, beta, is chooser option here. Chooser option का मतलब होता है बेटा that whoever is the option holder gets to decide whether it is a call option or put option within a specified period. Imagine, guys, that I am entering into an option with Shubham. The time to maturity is 1 year. But whether this is call option or put option, we did not decide yet. I paid him premium, guys. I have been given an option that in a span of 3 months, I can decide whether this will be call option or put option. I cannot wait till the maturity period. Obviously, till the maturity period, I will know, guys, which of them is favorable. Within a specified time period, I get to choose whether this option will be call option or put option. Exchange traded options cannot be like this. They can structured instruments are possible, guys, whenever you have two parties who are directly entering into contracts. Understood? So the word chooser here as such, guys, would mean what, beta? Whoever is the holder of the option gets to choose whether it is a call option or a put option. The next one, beta, is compound options. Compound option basically means option on an option. I am entering in what weird instruments hai beta, but then theek hai. I am entering. You are not supposed to put faces like that, guys. Don't say can't help it. Compound option as such, guys, is basically beta option on an option. Imagine I have entered into a contract as such, guys, with Siddharth that I will buy a security for him as such, guys. On the expiry date as such, guys, I get to decide as such, beta, to buy another option at a specified price. On the expiry date, I have an option to buy another option at a predetermined price from him. So original strike price is say 19,000 as such, guys. On the expiry date, I'm exercising this option. Then on this date, I also get to decide as such, guys, कि नहीं अभी और एक option लूँगा तेरे से with the strike price of 19,200, and he cannot say no to that. The details are already decided earlier. So on the expiry date, you have an option to take another option. That is a compound option. Chooser option क्या है? Choice is given to the holder that within a specified time period, they have to decide, guys, whether it is a call option or a put option. Compound option as such, guys, is basically where on the expiry date, the option holder as such, guys, will have an option to take an other option. ये underline करो बेटा notes में. Time to decide whether purchased option is call option or put option. Compound option as such, beta, on the expiry date, the holder has an option to take another option. Barrier option, guys, is an option that gets activated only when a barrier is crossed. So only when it crosses a predetermined price, Pay attention, guys. If I tell you that you have an option, guys, to buy Nifty at 19,600, however, this option will get triggered as such, guys, only if the price crosses, say, 19,680. You have an option to buy Nifty at 19,600 provided the price crosses 19,680. That 19,680 is now the barrier as such, guys, but your settlement will not be based on 19,680. Your settlement will be based on 19,600 only strike price. But the option gets activated only when a particular price is breached. Are we clear about this? उसको बोलते हैं barrier. कैसे याद रखोगे? Barrier मतलब guys is a restriction. What is the restriction? A price restriction here. There's a price restriction only if it crosses a particular price as such, guys, then the option will get activated. Is that clear? Reaches a certain price. Binary options, guys. When you say buy, and that too within a predetermined period as such, guys, not till the maturity date. Within the first 2 months, if the price crosses this level, then you will have an option to buy this. Binary का मतलब क्या होगा बेटा यहाँ पे? You know what a binary, guys? 0 1 0 1 0 1. Yeah, exactly, guys. Even here, guys, it is the same concept. Either the payoff will be 0 or the payoff will be equal to fixed amount depending on the happening or non-happening of a specific event. The payoff is not variable. The payoff is either a fixed amount or 0 depending on the happening or non-happening of a specific event. Are we clear, guys? That is a binary option. ऐसे ही याद रखना है बेटा. This is how the names have been derived. Binary numbers, when we say, guys, these are 0 1 0 1. Yes or no, guys? So either it is 0 or it is some benefit. But that will depend on happening or non-happening. No payoff, or the payoff shall be pre-decided if the event has occurred. Are we clear? Something or predetermined amount or nothing. That will be binary. I repeat again. Chooser option क्या है? The holder gets to decide whether it is call option or put option as such, but that should be exercised within a specified period. He should decide that within a specified period. What is a compound option? Option on an option. On the expiry date, on the maturity date of the first option, the option holder as such, guys, has an option to take another option. Barrier option, guys, it gets activated only if the price reaches a certain price within a specified period. Binary option, something or nothing, depending on happening or non-happening of a specified event. Asian options, guys. Asian options are better. The payoff on maturity does not depend on spot price on maturity. The payoff on expiry, guys, will be based on, थोड़ा ध्यान दे दो बेटा पढ़ाई पे भी. The payoff on expiry, guys, will be based on an average of price that prevailed during a specified period. Rather than taking only price on expiry, we are taking an average price. Are you clear about this? Rather than taking only the price. जैसे बेटा, instead of taking only the price on 26th October, we are telling you that it will be average of price that has prevailed in the entire month of October. That will become the payoff on expiry. That they will compare with strike price. Are we clear? Bermudan options that I already cover. Asian options we did with American options, European options and Bermudan options. American options क्या है बेटा वैष्णवी? They can be exercised any time as such, guys. European options can be exercised only on the expiry date. Bermudan options can be exercised, guys, either on specified dates or on the expiry period. It's a combination of American options and European options. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? Understood, guys? What is an Asian option पहले? Asian option में payoff on expiry किसके ऊपर based रहता? Average of the price that prevailed during a specified period. जैसे futures बेटा, if you do not automatically settle it as such, guys, it will be based on weighted average of the last 30 minutes price. But only 30 minutes. But यहाँ पे Asian options में बेटा, it will be based on expiry. Are we clear? Yes or no? Next बेटा, basket options. What do you understand by basket option? Underlying security is not one, it is a basket of securities. The option, guys, is not dependent on the price of one security. The option is dependent on the price of multiple securities. That becomes a basket option. Sir, Nifty, can we consider it as basket? See, Nifty is based on Nifty, but actually speaking, Nifty is again based on option values of 50 securities. How it is computed is already decided. वैसे अगर तुम लोग 5-6 shares उठाते हो and you create an option on the value of those 5-6 shares with weights predetermined, कि 10% weight of this security, 20%, it will become a basket option. Whenever we see basket, guys, remember it's a basket of securities. Basket of securities is a group of securities. So an option which is based on a group of securities will be called as a basket option. Are we clear? Spread का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? Difference. Whenever we say spread as such, guys, जैसे now बेटा last week, उससे पहले I told you that government securities as such, guys, are trading at a lesser amount, lesser interest rate. Last week the spread between central government securities and state government securities increased, which was a worrying factor because the state governments have borrowed in excess of their specified limits. If they are borrowing more, guys, the risk increases, and that is why interest rate also increases. So the spread increase. Spread is nothing but the difference here. तो spread option का मतलब होता है बेटा that the payoff will not be dependent on price of one security, it will be based on the difference on prices of two securities. The payoff will be dependent on the difference between prices of two underlying. So the payoff will be difference between the price of HDFC and the price of Axis. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? Yes or no, guys? That will be called as your spread. Look back option as such, guys. What do you understand by look back? You get to decide the strike price by looking back, depending on the maximum price that the underlying security as such, guys, has achieved as such, better. Most favorable strike price can be selected depending on the minimum and maximum price achieved during the lifetime of an option. You get, agar if it has touched the maximum price of say better 20,000, then you can decide कि कौन सा strike price. It will all be pre-decided. Terms should be pre-decided. That if the price touches this, if the price touches this, as better strike prices will be this. Will get. So you have an option to decide what will be strike prices. Fixed नहीं है. Strike prices will be multiple. Again, guys, all of these products cannot be traded on exchanges. They have to be over the counter. This is why investment bankers come in between. No, they are the ones who structured these products better and try to sell it to different parties. Are we clear? These are all exotic options. Remember, because they've been introduced for the first time, there's every possibility as such better that they will be asked as a theory question in the near future. When I say in the near future, derivatives of better, there are multiple things added as theory part. It might come, guys, in the next 3-4 attempts. ठीक है? Are we clear about exotic options? समझ में आ गया बेटा? Notes में summary लिखो बेटा first. एक line. All of you guys write down this as a part. Summary में. Exotic options. Exotic options. First वाला बेटा. First one, guys. निकेत नहीं हो रहा बेटा वो एक सेकंड फेंको. First one beta is chooser option. Holder can decide if it is a call or a can decide if it is a call or a put option. Call or put option within a specified period. Holder can decide if it is a call or a put option, guys, within a specified period. Next beta, compound options. Option on an option. On expiry, option holder has an option to take another option. Has an option to take another option. Barrier option. Option gets activated if and only if underlying reaches a predetermined price within a specified period, not till the expiry date, guys. Reaches a predetermined price within a specified period. Binary options. Predetermined payoff if a specific event occurs, or else if a specific event occurs, or else क्या है बेटा? 0. If a specific event occurs, guys, it will be predetermined, otherwise 0. लिख रहे हो ना बेटा सब लोग? Asian options. Asian options में बेटा, instead of price on expiry, what do we use? Instead of price on expiry, payoff will be based on average price will be based on average price of a specified period. Average price of a specified period. Bermudan options. Bermudan options can be exercised on specified dates. Specified dates. Or on expiry. Basket options. Underlying is a group of securities. कौन सा लिख रहे हो तुम लोग? डी तक हो गया? Underlying is a group of securities. Spread options. The old batch students, but whenever you're watching these classes, ensure that you go through the basics of options and futures first. Because the next topic that I'm starting, real options, you will need knowledge of risk neutralization, binomial model, as well as Black-Scholes model. All the three are required for the next topic. Next, beta, spread options. Payoff will be based on the difference in price of two securities. Finally, look back options. Most favorable exercise price can be selected. Most favorable strike price can be selected. Based on the maximum and minimum price of the underlying security. Bermudan लिख लिए? Here guys, zooming in better, all of you copy this. Did you write all of this better? हो गया कीर्तिश? एक वर्ड लिखा नहीं, हो गया कहते. Yes बेटा, Is everyone done with this? Now guys, the next concept is such beta real options. वहाँ पे बेटा we have credit derivatives. I'll talk about credit derivatives also in the order. पहले did you write all of that? Now guys, credit derivatives के बारे में बात करता हूँ. That's only theory guys. Real options बेटा practical questions. Now real options guys were actually included as a part of your capital budgeting chapter long back as such guys. Real option guys is an option theory to evaluate projects. We are using the concept of options to evaluate long-term projects. समझ में आ रहा है क्या बोल रहा हूँ? It is not an underlying financial instrument. It is an underlying project. You are going to invest in a machinery, or you've already started a business. You have an option to exit from that business whenever you want. Or you have a business which can be delayed. You can invest that today, or you can take up that opportunity tomorrow, or you can take it up a year later, or you can take it up a year, 2 years later. Just say Maruti Suzuki has decided that they're not going to invest in electric cars. They're going to delay that, most likely by 2024, most likely by 2025. What are they waiting for? They're waiting for the market to mature. More and more number of vehicles should be sold so that it is economical for them to manufacture and sell those vehicles in the market. So we use an option valuation methodology as such beta to evaluate the underlying project. That is called as real option. Real का मतलब होता है that option is not real as such. उसका it is not real or fake in that way. Real only means as such guys that it is a real asset, underlying asset as such beta on which the option is being evaluated. Are we clear? We do not. यहाँ पे बेटा real options का problem होता है that there is a lot of uncertainty, because when you talk about capital budgeting projects as such guys, will there be uncertainty? Capital budgeting projects, will there be uncertainty or not? Any investment decision guys, when it comes to investment in your businesses, is subject to uncertainty. The cash flows that you're going to derive from your business guys will depend on the basically outcome of the product as such guys. It might be very high, it might be very low as well guys. Every year cash flows can fluctuate. The cash flows need not remain constant. So that is why guys we do not price these options, we value the options. For underlying financial options as such guys, we use the word price of an option. For capital investments as such guys, we do not use the word price of an option, we use the word value of an option. है मतलब in the end वही, but you cannot say price because these are not traded in the market. You are not selling this to anyone as such guys. Are we clear about this? It is for our own evaluation. So real options also guys are segregated into 4 categories called as long call, long put, short call, short put. When you say long call का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? Right to buy. Here I can say right to invest. You should be putting in your money. So when you're putting in your money as such guys, it is right to invest. Organizations might decide should they invest now or should they delay it and invest later. What is the value of the option that you have? If you do not have an option of delaying the investment, there is no option only better. Value of option 0 नहीं, अपन बोलेंगे there is no underlying option only. When will you value an option? If there's a possibility of you delaying the investment and taking up the project later whenever you want. कौन से options लेंगे? Business expansion projects guys or investment in research and development. They are very common as such guys, wherein people might think that not now, let us invest the amount later. If the market matures, we will see how to invest in it. Are you getting the point? So when you say long call, क्योंकि guys real options में most important thing in a question will be to identify are you supposed to value a call option or are you supposed to value a put option depending on the information that is given in the question. Are we clear? Long call क्या रहेगा? You have a right to you can invest money, but then there's an option of delaying the investment. You need not invest now, you can invest better a year later, you can invest 2 years later, you can invest 3 years later. Long put का मतलब क्या होगा? Right to sell. You've already invested in a project as such guys, you have a right to exit. You can abandon the project or you can abandon मतलब sell the project as such guys. छोड़ के नहीं होगे. It is not a project in Venezuela, but then you will have a right to sell it. That is called as long put. You are continuing the operations. A year later, it does not seem favorable. It is not favorable. You might not want to continue. What will you want to do? Sell the project. The questions that will be asked in the examination will be from the viewpoint of option holder, not from the viewpoint of option writer. You are a business entity, you have a right to invest or you have a right to abandon. Right to abandon कब आएगा? Already investment हो चुका है, but it is, हाँ मतलब if it is not feasible a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later as such guys, you will want to exit from the project as such guys rather than continuing. When you know that there is no future economic benefit expected and you have a right to sell the project as such guys to someone else, you will want to evaluate that. Are we clear guys? So there is long call, which is right to invest on a future date at a certain price. Long put, which is right to sell on a future date as such guys at a certain price. There is short call, promise to sell if the counterparty wants to buy. Someone else as such guys might be interested in your business. If it's exercising the right to buy your business, then you will be under an obligation to sell it. Short put as such, but promise to buy if the counterparty wants to sell. ये दोनों नहीं आएंगे guys as practical questions. Because when I talk from a business perspective, it is either right to invest or it is right to sell. We are not entering into contract with anyone guys. Right to buy, right to sell also. Did you enter into contract with anyone? We did not enter into contract with anyone. It is just that we have an option of delaying the investment. We have an option of delaying. We have an option of exiting from the investment. जैसे अभी पढ़ाई का सोचो बेटा. Don't you have an option of delaying? It is our choice. समझ में आ रहा? There is no counterparty involved here as such guys. Whatever decisions that we are taking, it is for our own good only. How do we value these options? We are going to use the same valuation model: binomial model, risk neutral model, and Black-Scholes model. I told you as per ICI beta, now there are only 3 methods. They do not count theoretical minimum price approach or expected gains approach as separate theories, but then questions will still be based on those 2 models. So there are 3 models that will be given guys: binomial, risk neutral, and Black-Scholes model. Everyone understood the concept of real option? Yes or no? We're going to do 3 practical questions guys based on growth option, abandonment option and timing option. ये क्या है बेटा, मैं समझाता हूँ. पहले ये समझ में आया नहीं आया? लिखो बेटा नोट्स में. रियल ऑप्शन, राइट इट इन नोट्स गाइस. रियल ऑप्शन कॉन्सेप्ट बुक में ही लिख रहे हैं. सारे डेंग रियल ऑप्शन. रियल ऑप्शन. Write down beta. It is an approach. It is an approach to evaluate capital. It is an approach to evaluate investment decisions. It is an approach to evaluate investment decisions. Investment decisions. It is an approach to evaluate investment decisions. All long-term investment decisions, all long-term investment decisions, all long-term investment decisions, all long-term investment decisions are subject to uncertainties, are subject to uncertainties, are subject to uncertainties, where cash flows can vary. Cash flows can vary. Cash flows can vary. Normally अपन क्या यूज करते हैं बेटा? डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो. वो बंद कर देना बचेगा ऐसे, और ये बीच वाला अगर ऑन करना कोई तो भी एक. Yes, normally discounted cash flow technique is used to evaluate. कोई तो भी एक चालू कर, वो पीछे वाला बंद कर. Normally discounted cash flow technique is used. Normally discounted cash flow technique is used. Discounted cash flow technique is used to evaluate investments. To evaluate investments. Valuation of option. Valuation of option. Valuation of options will supplement discounted cash flow technique. Valuation of options will supplement discounted cash flow technique. Valuation of options will supplement discounted cash flow technique. Discounted cash flow technique. Real options can be classified as follows. Real options can be classified as follows. Real options can be classified as follows. First one, long call, long call, long call, right to invest, right to invest on a later date, right to invest on a later date. Brackets में investments can be delayed. Investments can be delayed. Investments can be delayed. Second one, beta. Long put. Right to sell on a later date. Right to sell on a later date. Right to sell on a later date. Long put बोला ना मैं. Right to sell on a later date. हाँ 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 तो right मतलब. So you have a right to buy or sell. Option is option to invest. So that is why you say we have a right to buy. You can buy the asset if you wish to. No one is forcing you to invest it. Brackets में बेटा क्या लिखे तुम लोग? Right to sell on a later date in brackets. Flexibility to sell. Flexibility to sell. Flexibility to sell. Flexibility to sell. Next beta. Short call. Short call. Third point, short call. Obligation to sell if the counterparty wants to buy. Obligation to sell if the counterparty wants to buy. Obligation to sell if the counterparty wants to buy. Next, short put. Short put. Obligation to buy if the counterparty wants to sell. Obligation to buy if the counterparty wants to sell. ठीक है बेटा. Next line guys. The same option valuation models will be used. Same option valuation models will be used. Same option valuation models will be used. Option valuation models will be used to value real options. The same option valuation models will be used to value real options. The same option valuation models will be used to value real options. इसमें ही बेटा they divide them into three categories. मतलब ये पूरे वही है. There is growth option, there is abandonment option, there is timing option. Abandonment literally does not mean you're abandoning the asset. Abandonment option only means you have a right to sell. Timing option only means you have a right to decide whether you want to invest now or whether you want to invest later. You have an option to delay. Depending on how the market improves as such guys, you might want to decide later whether you will want to take up a project or not. What if the prices are not favorable now guys, and the prices can turn out to be anything a year later? So you'll be like, let us wait for a year and then decide whether you want to take up a project or not. That is called as a timing option. Growth option as such guys is something that is going to contribute to the growth of the organization on a later date. Investing in research and development as such guys, investing in marketing of a product that may have an insignificant NPV or such guys, or a negative NPV, but it might still result in as such guys an indirect benefit to the organization. So you have growth option, you have abandonment option, you have टाइमिंग ऑप्शन. अबैंडनमेंट ऑप्शन में सबसे ज्यादा याद रखना बेटा दैट यू आर वैल्यूइंग अ पुट ऑप्शन. अंडर द अदर टू यू आर वैल्यूइंग कॉल ऑप्शन. ग्रोथ ऑप्शन, टाइमिंग ऑप्शन में बेटा यू हैव अ growth option में you are deciding whether you have to invest or not. You have an option to invest. When you have an option to invest as such, guys, there's a money outflow. Will that be call or will that be put? Call. Timing option में guys, that is growth. Timing option, you have a right or you have an option to delay an investment. If you have an option to delay an investment, you're still putting in money. Will you value a call option or will you value a put option? Call option. Abandonment option, you have a right to sell. Because you have a right to sell as such, guys, you're going to value a put option. ये चीज याद रखना कंपलसरी है as to whether a particular option is going to be a call option or is it going to be a put option, because benefit will change on expiry, guys. If you start comparing strike price, call option will be in the money but put option will be out of the money, and if call option is out of the money, put option will be in the money. So that is very important. Are we clear about it? लिखो बेटा नीचे. Types of options. Types of options. First one beta is growth option. Growth option. Growth option. They are in relation to projects. They are in relation to projects. They are in relation to projects which have negative or insignificant NPV. Which have negative or insignificant NPV. Negative or insignificant NPV. Negative or insignificant NPV, but will add values in future. Will add values in future. Negative or insignificant NPV, but will add values in future. As it is an option to invest. As it is an option to invest. As it is an option to invest, it will be considered as a call option. वो underline करना बेटा सबसे important. It will be considered as a call option. It will be considered as a call option. Call option. Next. Second वाला बेटा abandonment option. What is abandonment बेटा? It is a right to sell, exit from a business. Second point, abandonment option. It is a right to sell or exit from a business. It is a right to sell or exit from a business. Right to sell or exit from a business. ठीक है. Will be considered, it should be considered as a put option. It should be considered as a put option. It should be considered as a put option. समझ में आया guys ये? Yes or no? Next. Timing option. Timing option. It is an option to delay an investment. It is an option to delay an investment. Option to delay an investment. समझ में आ रहा नहीं आ रहा? Hence will be, it will be valued as a क्या guys? It will be valued as a call option. It will be valued as a call option. It will be valued as a call option. Now guys, turn to page number 5.46. Go back to your problem solving book. The question that we are seeing as such, guys, here is a question that was copied from NYU का syllabus. उनका जो option का book है, same figures change हुए बस. Exact same question. ABC Limited. ABC Limited is a pharmaceutical company possessing a patent of a drug called as Adrex, a medicine for AIDS patient. Being an approach drug, ABC Limited holds the right of production of drugs and its marketing. The period of patent is 15 years, after which any pharmaceutical company produces a drug with the same formula. We are in possession of a patent already, guys. The period is restricted to 15 years. After that, the entire market can manufacture. It will become. You will not be able to charge a premium as such, guys, for the medicine after a period of 15 years. Yes. It is estimated that the company shall require to incur $12.5 million for development and marketing of the drug. So you will have to now decide. Already patent hai tumhare paas, but you will still have to incur an expenditure of $12.5 million as such, guys, on development and marketing. तो ये हो जाएगा तुम्हारा strike price. This is the amount that you will have to pay. When you're valuing an option as such, guys, you will have to see, no, कि क्या strike price रहेगा, क्या spot price रहेगा. Please understand, why is this strike price? In case you decide to invest, what will be the outflow, guys? 12.5. In case you decide to exercise your option, you will have to pay an amount of $12.5 million. As per a survey conducted, the expected present value of cash inflows from the sale of the drug during the period of 15 years shall be $16.7 million. Spot. The inflow that you are going to get as such, this is already in present value terms as such, guys. This is not as on a later date. The present value of all the cash inflows as such, guys, from this period of 15 years will be $16.7 million. Cash flow from the previous similar type of drug have exhibited a variance of 26.8% of the present value of cash flows. Standard deviation. Variance is given square of standard deviation. इसका तुम लोग square root लो लोगे तो you will get standard deviation. Whenever standard deviation is given, guys, which option valuation model do we go back to? Black-Scholes model. Black-Scholes model is the only model that incorporates volatility of the underlying stock. Yes or no? बाकी सब में बेटा volatility है but limited. They only tell us that these two prices are possible. Next. The current yield on treasury bonds as such, guys, of similar duration 15 years is 7.8%. Determine the value of the patent. Everything normal, guys. We're supposed to arrive at value of the patent. Before you start calculation, guys, there is something called as cost of delay as such, beta. If the organization decides, we are talking about growth option as such, beta. Even if you decide as such, guys, to delay the option by 1 year as such, guys, will your cash flows get impacted? You will not get the entire amount as such, guys. And plus you will delay the investment also as such, beta. So essay questions, my guys, there is something called as discounting factor that is used. It is not just, please pay attention, guys, do not be solving, matlab, thoda alag hai. It is not the standard Black-Scholes model. If you decide, because see, guys, if not now, you can also spend the money a year later. If not a year later, you can spend the money 2 years later. You can spend the money 3 years later. You can spend the money 4 years later. But money can be spent as such, guys. But overall patent would be restricted to a period of 15 years only as such, guys. That cannot be done. So even your spot as such, beta, is adjusted with something called as cost of delay. And that cost of delay as such, beta, it's like 1 saal ho gaya hai. You forget first year's cash flow. If there is underlying dividend income as such, guys, what do you do with that underlying dividend income? Say before the expiry, if the underlying spot is expected to result in a dividend income, what do you do with that? Reduce it from your spot price. हाँ या ना? यहाँ पे you cannot do that perfect calculation as such, guys, but then we take a discounting factor or cost of delay factor, better, called as 1 divided by overall duration. 1 divided by 15 as such, guys, 0.0667. That means you delay it by 1 year, you forget 6.67% of your cash flow. You delay it by 2 years, you forget 6.67 into 2 of your cash flows. Are you getting the point? Overall period में बेटा straight line कर रहे हैं, 1 divided by 15. Your annual delay is going to cost you how much? 6.67%. It's a new point that we are learning, guys. Now please go through the question, then I will tell you how to write notes. वो delay factor क्यों आ रहा है मैं तुम्हारे को बोलूंगा. There is no compulsion, guys, that you have to make an investment today only. You can make an investment later also. Read the question again, guys, all of you. All of you read the question, beta. You already possess the patent, guys. You are not going to. First sentence, what beta? It says it is possessing a patent. You still have to incur money on development using that patent. Patent तुम्हारे नाम पे बेटा, it is not more than 15 years from the current date. अगर वो नहीं होता तो बेटा गया फिर, मतलब then there is nothing only in the question. टाइमिंग ऑप्शन आ जाएगा उसमें, we will see. मतलब there we will have to evaluate a little later. मतलब what is the benefit that you will get if you start today? What is the benefit that you will get if you start a year later? What is the benefit that you will get if you start 2 years later? जो तू बोल रहा है उसको टाइमिंग ऑप्शन बोलते हैं बेटा. We can do that also. But basically you'll have to recompute कि अगर 1 साल बाद में होता, 2 साल बाद में होता, 3 साल. हाँ उसका निकाल के एडजस्ट करना. You'll have to take what are the likely cash flows, but then do not forget after a year cash flows will already must have been variated. Variance है cash flows का. So you will have a more better picture as to what is the likely cash flow that will come after a year. What is the likely cash flow that will get after 2 years. See, the benefit of delaying any investment as such, guys, is more clarity on the amount of cash flows that you might realize. Anywhere as such, guys. Whenever you're delaying as such, guys, an option to invest. अब भी बोला बेटा example Maruti Suzuki का. Why are they delaying it? More clarity into what will be the amount of cash flow as such, guys, a year later or 2 years later as such, guys. हाँ या ना? That is what. First movers as such, guys, in the market are the ones who are willing to take that risk. A lot of people wanted to invest in hydrogen cell technology as such, guys. Ambani's and Adani especially. They want to invest in hydrogen cell as such, guys. Why? Because they think that the market will be huge on a later date. There might be other players who might not want to do now. They'll be like, we will wait, see how the market phases out and then we will invest. Anyways, question पढ़ लिया guys. Write down beta given details. Write down guys. All of you guys, please write clearly beta in your notes. The option to develop the option to develop the medicine will be considered as growth option. Will be considered as growth option. Will be considered as growth option. And will be valued as a call option. Will be valued as a call option. Will be valued as a call option. The amount of next line, the amount of investment to be made will become strike price. The amount of investment to be made will be strike price. Amount of investment to be made. Strike price. कितना है बेटा? $12.5 million. Present value of cash inflows will be considered as what beta? Spot price. How much is that? $16.7 million. $16.7 million. Rate of interest R is how much? 7.8%. Variance of cash flows, standard deviation square beta कितना है बेटा? 26.8, can someone also compute standard deviation using this? 0.5517 0.5177 Variance as such guys is 0.5177. Total time period as such guys कितना है? 15 years. Total time period बेटा is 15 years. अब आता है बेटा most important. What is that guys? Write a note. यहाँ तक लिखे पूरा? Write down. The patent is for a period of 15 years. The patent is for a period of 15 years. The patent is for a period of 15 years. If investment is delayed, if investment is delayed, if investment is delayed, the total realization will also reduce. If investment is delayed, the total realization will also reduce. Total realization will also reduce. Cost of delay, उसको D बोलते हैं बेटा, will be 1 divided by 15 years. How much per annum बेटा? 0.6667. So that is 6.67% per annum. Cost of delay guys will be 6.67% per annum. You will lose this. I will adjust it from my present value of cash inflows. Our outflow will be $12.5 million. Whenever you're investing, you'll be investing $12.5 million. But if you invest it later, तुम्हारा present value, मतलब cash flows will only be for 14 years. $12.5 million is the expenditure that you're incurring on development and marketing of the project. Whether the project will have a life of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years or 10 years, the amount that you're going to invest is $12.5 million on development. तो टाइम वो क्या है? इन्फ्लेशन फैक्टर. इट इज नॉट टाइम वैल्यू कंपोनेंट. दैट आई कैन नॉट कंसिडर. नो, I am buying a car for 10 lakhs. Just because you're waiting for a year, that does not mean price of a car should increase by interest rates prevailing in the market. It might increase by inflation factor. How much we do not know. Are you clear about this? Cash inflows that we are taking. Now guys, pay attention beta. ये important. Normally guys, how do you value Black and Scholes में beta value of a call option? S naught into n of d1 minus k into e power minus rt into n of d2. Yes or no? S naught into n of d1 minus k into e power minus rt into n of d2. यहाँ पे आएगा और एक टर्म. For real option with cost of delay, you have to adjust to your spot. ठीक है? And that adjustment to spot is written as S naught into e power minus delay factor. Delay factor for the entire time period 15 years into n of d1. बाकी सब same. K into e power minus rt into n of d2. Are we clear? I cannot reduce 6.67% only because it can be 1 year, it can be 2 years, it can be so on beta for the next 15 years. So you write e power minus delay factor as such beta into t. And when you are computing guys, क्या था अपना ये ln s by k तो नॉर्मल रहेगा बेटा. When you're computing d1, how do you write d1 guys? ln s by k plus r लिखते हैं ना. This r will now be reduced by your delay factor because if you're delaying as such, there is no investment that you're anyways going to charge as such better. It will be reduced by your delay for computation of this plus 0.5 times of variance into t divided by standard deviation into root t will remain same. Think of D as dividend yield guys. Dividend yield अगर होता तो you're reducing your cost of borrowing by the amount of your dividend yield. अभी जैसे एक क्वेश्चन में लिखा था, if your borrowing rate is 8%, dividend yield is 3%, you take a net borrowing cost of 5%. Yes or no guys? But यहाँ पे problem क्या हो रहा है बेटा? यहाँ पे I'm taking 5%, I will take net cost. But that dividend yield is as a percentage of my present value of cash inflows and my borrowing cost is on investment. Investment is how much? $12.5 million. इसलिए दोनों को अलग अलग ले रहे हैं. Are you getting the point? Dividend yield is as a percentage of what guys? spot 15.7 $16.7 million. Borrowing cost is on $12.5 million. ये compulsory याद रखना है बेटा. This is important. Are we clear? Write this guys now. With cost of delay, e power delay factor into t करो. Whoever framed the material as such guys, they picked up the material of options of NYSU. पूरा मार दिया बेटा यहाँ पे. New York Stern University considered to be the best. और उनके that is the only university as such guys जिनके मतलब पूरे books are public. दूसरे यूनिवर्सिटीज के मटेरियल इज नॉट पब्लिक. यू नो अश्वत्थ दामोदरन राइट? अश्वत्थ दामोदरन, द वैल्यूएशन गुरु, ही इज द हेड ऑफ फाइनेंस इन दैट यूनिवर्सिटी. Now, all of these values will be given in the question guys. We will have to start our computations. ln s by k. It is important to understand why am I not adjusting r minus y here guys. अगर ये normal share होता मैं r minus y यहीं पे करता. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है ना? करो guys. Now once you write this beta, can you all compute ln s by k d1 d2? निकेत क्या तो भी है नहीं सब. पहले ही ब्लैक एंड शोल्स में फिजिक्स का कॉन्सेप्ट, उसमें डिले फैक्टर. The next two questions are based on binomial model guys, not based on black and Scholes. ठीक है निकेत? How much is ln s by k guys now? Did you write all of this? Can you compute ln s by k? क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ है बट फिर भी लिखना तो पड़ेगा ना बेटा. 16.7 by 12.5 कितना है, वो है कि नहीं है बोल के. वही है, एक ही वैल्यू दिया तो वही रहता ना. Are you all computing ln s by k बेटा? हाँ ये उसमें भी लिखाना है ना. हाँ मैं लिखाता हूँ बेटा, 2 मिनट. ये डिले फैक्टर का पॉइंट ना. n of d1 n of d2 as such guys is not given. That means you will have to compute. नहीं दिया ना n of d1 d2. मेहनत करा रहा है इसमें भी. अब क्या है वो तो मेरी प्रॉब्लम है क्या? लुकिंग एट मी एंड टेलिंग मी ये क्या है कहते हैं. साक्षी आ गया. ln s by k हो गया. d1 कितना आया? yield percentage में ना बेटा, it is not in absolute terms. Absolute terms अगर रहता तो we would have adjusted it directly from our spot price. And it is not one, it is for the entire period of 15 years. Yes beta. How much is d1 guys? Did anyone compute? 1 point 9 point कैसे आता है यार d1? Z स्कोर 9 आता ही नहीं यार. Z स्कोर 3 से नीचे ही रहना हमेशा, क्योंकि वो टेबल में अपना मैक्सिमम 3 तक ही जाते हैं अपन. Z स्कोर तो एब्सेंट था शायद. हाँ वो 1.23 2315. Yes, guys. वन पॉइंट टू थ्री वन फाइव. मैं छोड़ दूं ना बेटा, तुम लोग कर लोगे ना D1 कंप्यूट उसमें से. सिद्धार्थ ये कितना है बेटा? ln वो 16.7 बाई 12.5. 1 पॉइंट डबल जो क्वेश्चन का है वही उठा लो ना. 1.336. सो 0.2897. D1 बेटा व्हाट आर वी गोइंग टू राइट? 0.2897 प्लस R कितना था बेटा? 0.078. D is 0.0667. You took 0667 only, no? Plus 0.5 times of variance. Variance की जगह directly 26.268. Time period बेटा 15 years. Whole divided by standard deviation कितना लिखे थे अपन? 0.57. 5177. 0.5177 into root 15. How much are we getting बेटा? 1.2315. तो कितना है? उतना ही आया ना. ऐसे अलग क्यों आ रहा है यार? सब लोग सेम ही तो वैल्यूज लिए ना. वो 0.26 होल स्क्वायर नहीं करना है. वो 0.268 इज ऑलरेडी स्क्वायर. इट इज ऑलरेडी वेरिएंस. तुम दोनों क्या मस्ती कर रहे हो मेरे को नहीं समझ में आ रहा, बट ठीक है. वन 1.2315 guys. D2 beta will be D1 minus standard deviation into root T guys. 1.2315 minus standard deviation कितना है बेटा? 0.5177 into root 15. कोई बोलेगा बेटा कितना है ये? नेगेटिव पॉइंट. मेरे को 7 पॉइंट सुनाई दिया, मैं बोला 7 पॉइंट कहाँ से करेंगे यार अभी. नेगेटिव 0.7735. Now you have to compute n of D1 n of D2 guys using the table. N of D1 guys and N of D2 beta using the table. 1.2315 guys will pick up for 1.23. 2 decimal points round off. ठीक है ना? 1.23 3907 आ रहा है. So 0.8907. Did you all get 0.8907? एक मिनट सर, अभी तो देख रहे हैं. क्या शुभम नहीं आया? ये आया 1.2315 0.7735. करंट कितना है बेटा? D1 n of D1 प्लस 0.5 क्योंकि वो क्यूमुलेटिव एरिया ना बेटा. सो 0.8907. परफेक्ट. Most likely beta this will come as practical question in the exam because this is a newly introduced concept. Real options practical questions के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा important है. Next 2-3 attempts 101%. Ignore मत करना. N of D1 बेटा क्या लिखोगे guys अभी? It is N of 1.2315 guys, so which is N of approximately 1.23. From the table guys you will get area guys from 0 to 1.23. 0 to 1.23 का area कितना है बेटा? This area will be given in the table 0.3907. But we want this entire area guys. So if you want this entire area beta, what will you write? 0.5 plus 0.3907. This will become 0.8907. You want the entire area guys, so which will become 0.8907. हो गया, पूरा हो गया. कितना है ऑप्शन वैल्यू? Yes बेटा. n of d1 guys is 0.8907. कितेश n of d2 कितना आया? ये आ गया 0.8907. वो नेगेटिव है गाइस, so 0.5 माइनस जो वैल्यू आना है ना तुम्हारे को वो करना है 0.2206. ये कितना है बेटा? n of minus 0.7735. So it will be n of minus 0.77. Please understand guys, this is on the negative side. So if I want to compute cumulative area, table will give me area from 0 to 0.77. Can you tell me what is the area given in the table? 2794. You want, I don't want this. I want this leftover region. Yes or no? How will I get this better? 0.5 minus 0.2794. 0.2206. This will be n of d2 guys. Did you write n of d1? N of d2 ये हो गया guys. Now you just have to use the formula of call option guys. S naught into e power minus discounting factor 0.0667 into 15 better. It should have been 1, but then वो लोग question में 1.005 या 0005 दिए देख. Yes guys, check, but I'll wait for a minute. All of you compute the value of call option. वैष्णवी हो गया बेटा? Please compute the value of call option guys. I'm waiting for a minute. Yes beta. The value that is given in the question guys is not e power positive 1.0005. It is e power negative only. हाँ? बेटा अगर वो पॉजिटिव होता ना ई पावर, ऐसे सोचो 2.71828 होल पावर 1 कितना होता? I'll do it guys. एक सेकेंड. मतलब उसको डिवाइड तो नहीं करे ना तुम लोग, डायरेक्टली मल्टीप्लाई है गाइस. तुमको नहीं मालूम तुम लोग क्या करे. एंड ऑफ डिस्कशन नो. Yes beta, can you tell me how much will be the value of option guys? It will be spot price into n of d1 into e power minus delay factor into t minus strike price into e power minus rt into n of d2. Correct, guys? Now beta, what is your spot? 16.7. N of D1 0.89 into e power minus 0.0667 into 15 minus strike कितना है बेटा 12.5 into e power minus 0.078 into 15 into n of d2 2206. So this is 16.7 into 0.8907 into e power. How much is that beta? 0.0667 multiplied by 15. E power minus 1.0005 minus 12.5 into e power 078 multiplied by 15 minus 1.17 into 0.2206. 16.7 into 0.8907 into 0.3677 minus 12.5 into e power 1.17 into e power 0.3104 into 0.2206. Now guys pay attention. एक सेकेंड ई का वैल्यू कितना है बेटा 2.71828. 2.71828 पावर 1 कितना होना चाहिए 2.71. डाउट नहीं आया कि ये ई पावर नहीं होगा ये माइनस होगा बोल के नहीं आती ऐसे डाउट 1 डिवाइडेड बाई 2.71828 करो 1 डिवाइडेड बाई 2.71828. दिस इज ऑलरेडी ई पावर नेगेटिव वो माइनस प्रिंट नहीं हुआ स्टडी मटेरियल में भी ऐसे है स्टडी मटेरियल में भी दिस इज नॉट ई पावर गाइस वो डाउट आना चाहिए तुमको दिस इज नॉट ई पावर पॉजिटिव 1.005 गाइस इट इज ई पावर नेगेटिव अंडरस्टूड क्वेश्चन चेंज करो हाँ मेक दैट एज ई पावर नेगेटिव 1.0005. Old batch students, if it is already negative, please do not change. Just in case I change, give the updated question. तुम लोग वापस उसको नेगेटिव नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव बोल के मत करो. नहीं एग्जाम में नहीं देता बेटा ऐसा गलती. अभी स्टडी मटेरियल बनाना ये नए क्वेश्चन जो ऐड हुए तो दे विल आइडेंटिफाई एंड दे विल रीवैल्यूएट. डोंट वरी. Are we clear? Now guys, can you multiply बेटा and you understood no guys why it is not e power positive 1.005? जान दो कितना है बेटा ये 6135 million dollars. This will become the value of your patent, the value of the option that you are holding. If you want to sell this patent to someone, you can sell it for an amount of 4.6135. तू बना ले तेरा ड्रग डेवलप कर ले और बेच दे मार्केट में बोल के. जब तेको करना है करो. 4.6135 guys million dollars is the value of the patent. Are we clear about this? All right, better. The next two questions I'll be solving tomorrow guys and I'll also be starting over the next topic that is portfolio management. There's a little theory guys just electricity futures derivatives weather derivatives but वो एकदम छोटा है. It will barely take 10-15 minutes better. There's nothing different. Okay, it is just telling us that there are products like that in the market and then we'll start off the next topic. Are we clear? Chalo guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow beta. Bye bye. हाँ बेटा. Yes, I'll wait for a minute guys till you copy this and then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.